morning, good afternoon, and good evening. My name is Uno, and I'm here reporting live for REUB Network, the most accurate news network of the 19th century. Tonight, we are here to bring you tragic breaking news of a massacre that has broken out at Wounded Knee Creek in South Dakota. On the scene, we have our field reporter, Elliot, there to give us live updates about the situation. To you, Elliot.
Thank you, Uno. I am here at the Wounded Knee Creek in South Dakota. Soldiers fired upon Sioux tribe Indians with their soldiers. They used their machine guns, which fired up to 60 bullets per minute. In a few minutes, more 200 Indians were killed, with 40 soldiers' casualties as well. The few that were able to flee were pursued for miles. Hundreds of arrests were made, and a federal marshal was permanently paralyzed by a bullet wound. To dispose of the approximate 300 bodies, a large trench was dug to throw all the bodies into a mass grave burial. The corpses were robbed of their clothing to make relics of the event. This massacre most certainly makes the list of the most disgraceful event in our country.
Thank you for that, Elliot. Stay safe out there. And now, on to Beatriz to tell us what has caused this situation.
There were several factors that led to the Wounded Knee massacre. First of all, it is important to talk about the Dawes Act. On February 8, 1887, the Dawes Act was passed by the Congress, authorizing the president to break up reservation land which had been held in common by the members of a tribe into small allotments to be parceled out to individuals. The alleged purpose of this act was to protect American Indian property rights. However, this measure did not adapt to the indigenous tribal way of living. It was said that the tribe was harboring a religious movement that was to encourage the people to return to their traditional way of life, away from the reservation that the government had imposed on them. So, one of the factors that led to the massacre was the desire to suppress this religious movement. It is also important to talk about the state of the Sioux Indian tribe. At the time of the massacre, they were the biggest native tribe in the United States, numbering approximately 26,000 residing in Dakotas. Being such a large tribe, taking up a lot of land, they were pushed around by the government and other better armed tribes, losing all their land and buffalo, leaving them weakened and reliant on government rations. In other words, unable to resist the claiming of their land and the subsequent massacre. All these factors came together to cause this horrible massacre with even worse consequences. To you now, Ruben.
Even worse consequences indeed, Beatriz. The Wounded Knee Massacre marked the end of armed resistances by Native American groups against reservation life and assimilation into American culture, imposed onto them by the government. Following the massacre, the remaining Native Americans tribes realized that they were no match for the overwhelming military power of the United States, and many tribes abandoned armed resistances as a strategy to protect their lands, culture, and a way of life. Without any more resistance, the government intensified its efforts into assimilating the Native Americans, often forcibly removing children from their families and communities and sending them to the boarding schools where their cultural practice and language were suppressed. Native Americans were also subjected to further land seizures, forced relocations, and lost their traditional ways of life.
And with that, we hope this report has brought to your conscience the dire situation at hand. We here at the REUB Network hope that you tune in next time for the most accurate televised news network of the 19th century. This is Uno signing off and wishing you all a good night.